everyone. I want to thank my table of friends that I just met for being so amazing, amazing. Okay, so this is an old story of mine. About 10 years ago, I lived in New York City, and I used to take the subway to work. And this is a story about the subway. So just to level set for a minute, living in New York is a very weird experience. I'm sure some of you here have lived it. I lived in a fourth floor walk-up in a really bad part of Brooklyn. Like, my dad begged me to not live there, and I said, I'm gonna be fine, Dad. And I lived with these two really weird guys. So one of them didn't own a bed. He slept on a desk, and I kid you not, it was a very small room, and it was a big wooden desk, and then he would pile up milk crates and put more wood, and then he would sleep on this desk. And that was just how he lived his life. I didn't know what he did when he brought women back to the apartment, and that was his business. The other guy also brought lots of women back to the apartment who all used my shampoo, and I was really upset about that. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, this is a story about the subway. So I used to commute on the subway every day. And are you getting a lot of feedback over here? What do I do? Okay, I'm going to do this. Yeah, okay. So, is that better? Great. Okay, so the other thing you should know about me is that I get very sleepy in the morning. I'm not a good morning person. So, normally I would kind of wake up and kind of just drag myself out of bed. And I would kind of drag myself down those 4 flights of stairs. And I would walk to the subway. And I would pop a piece of gum in my mouth. There was no room. You're all crammed in the subway like aardvarks, okay? You cannot even move a muscle. And everyone who's been in the subway before knows you just kind of sway with the rest of the people, and half the time you can't even get to a bar. But on this particular day, I forgot about this thing. On this particular day, I was chewing a piece of gum like a cow. And I was mostly asleep. And I'm holding on to a bar. And this is the part of the story where you can all decide whether I'm the bad guy in the story or not. But I digress. So I'm holding on to the bar, and I'm swaying along with the rhythm of the subway, and I'm chewing like a cow. And there's this woman standing right in front of me, and believe it or not, she was actually just like a slight bit shorter than me. This is true. And she was wearing this blazer with these shoulder pads on, and I'm mid-chew like this. And just at that moment, the subway pitches forward. And as I'm mid-chew, I'm still really upset about this. I'm sorry. As I'm mid-chew, my mouth bites her on the shoulder. So I'm like 22 years old, and I've got a stranger's shoulder in my mouth on the subway. And I will never forget the feeling of her cotton polyester blend shoulder pad in my mouth. Now, this is the point of the story where, again, I could maybe like be the good guy, right? So I fall forward, my mouth bites her shoulder, and I stand up. And I am so horrified by this, I can't speak. I can't say anything. And this poor woman, she just slowly kind of turns around to see who just bit her on the subway. And instead of me saying anything like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, that was an accident, I fell forward, I just stared at her like this. And then she looks down at her shoulder, and I look down at her shoulder, and my piece of gum is resting ever so gently on that cotton polyester blend shoulder pad. And so, again, without speaking, I pluck that gum off her shoulder, and I find something to tuck it away in. And I still say nothing to her. I just stare at her, and she just slowly turns back around and just tries to push her way farther away from me in the crowd. Anyway, I tell this story because maybe someone out there knows this lady and can tell her who bit her that day on the subway and that I'm really, really sorry. And I just couldn't say anything. But anyway, I got to work and guys, I just bit someone on the subway. And you know that poor lady in her cute little blazer got to work and said, guys, I got bit on the subway today. And anyway, I later looked up, there are some statistics, and about 350 people get bit on the subway every year. So I'm just here to tell you that not all of them are true bitings. There are some accidental bitings out there, and some of them are from people who were just trying to get to work that day. Thank you very much.